What's up, Sparkman family? It's your boy Sparkman, and welcome back to another Market Watch. Today we're covering the Duelist Advanced pre-sales and so much more in the market as well. Like I said, Duelist Advanced pre-sales and Duelist Advanced is coming out very soon, so we gotta take a look at what's going on in the market and what is causing havoc. Now listen, I'll tell everyone right off the bat, and this is just because I want to get it out there. I want you to be very careful buying into this set. This is one of those sets where I feel like it is kind of a trap in a little bit of a way. There are some nice numbers here you're seeing, but at the same time, the numbers don't justify the price tag of what these cards are probably going to be worth. In the next few weeks, they're probably going to become crashing down. This set is a pretty decent set. It's not a great set. It's not a good set. It's a decent set. And I think this set is going to see itself really go down in value, just as we've seen with a lot of the sets this year that have not done well for itself. And it's no, shot at Konami. They just haven't given us enough oomph in these sets first to really just go out there and get it. And these cards aren't all there as well. Yes, there are some nice stuff like the Vanquish Soul stuff. Yeah, I'll get it. All those fun stuff, but at the same time, it's not you're not going to grasp a lot with that as well, right? You're not going to get the whole community going crazy, right? So listen, this is a decent set. It's not a good set. It's not a great set, but at the same time, these prices are a little bit of a trap. Now, this is not shots at Gamer's Choice as well. This is not coming at them. This is just what pre-sale usually is for any set, right? It usually is going to be bumped up a little higher because of the hype value and the perspective of certain cards that could go up over time, right? There will be spikes of certain cards. So this is just protecting themselves in terms of a pre-sale. And this is with any company. This is with any market, for any website that's covering, pre-sales of cards right now. They're going to be a little higher of what it is. We all know this. We all know this, right? So don't come at Gamer's Choice. Don't come at these other places, because this is what it is. This is what pre-sale market is. It tends to be a little higher than what the actual, market is when all the cards are released and everything like that. Now, with that being said, a lot of these deck cores are something I would shy away against. Again, I told you, this is a set that is probably going to come down really heavily, right? We're seeing some of these deck cores for 60, right? And it's not terrible. There's secret rare copies. Like, for example, if you look at this, you're getting 3 secret rare copies, right? You're getting some super rares, you're getting some ultra rares, right? It's not terrible. It's not a terrible deck core. It's just a deck core that we understand that will really go down in value. So why purchase at $60? Why be in a rush? We know this is not going to be that impactful that it's going to be like, oh, this is going to break the meta. We already know that's not happening. So why is the rush to go get this, right? So I would shy away against this, right? I would tell you, wait a few weeks. It's probably going to be $30, even less than that, possibly, right? So shy away against getting this so early, because you're going to be saving yourself a lot of money. And there's the same regard with a lot of these deck cores we're seeing here. And this is no shot at any of these archetypes. These are amazing archetypes all around, right? We're all fans of any archetype that gets support that just comes out, all these things. But we know for a fact that these deck cores are just not worth what they are right now. Listen, I could be wrong, and you can come at me. Let me know in the comment section down below if you think I'm wrong, what deck core you think is going to go up in value. And there are cards going to go up in value. That's just a given, right? Not every card is going to be down and doing bad. We know that there's going to be spikes. We know that there's going to be low listings for things. We understand these things. We know that there's going to be buyouts, like we see here with out of stock cards here, right? We understand that there's going to be times where we see cards really going crazy, and I get that. But in the same regard, we're not going to take the risk knowing that for the most part, from what both the community is saying, from both what we're seeing, from both what we're acknowledging, what the card is that we know that this set and what is in this set is going to be on the drop down value, right? From pre-sale and even from the first week of sales. We know it's going to start coming down, right? And this is no shot at Vanquish Soul, because we know Vanquish Soul has done well for itself over time. We've looked at, for example, the previous Vanquish Soul reprints that got in the tins. We saw them turn from $1 to $20+, right? We know what happens with Vanquish Soul. They turn into money, right? They turn into a lot of profits. We understand this. But the same regard, I don't think it's justified for this to be at $200. Yes, it's out of stock. A lot of people bought into it, but that is also overhyped, right? That is also people just being careful. They're scared that it might be worth even more. And I don't think that's the case. I think this is going to drop down in value. I think this is very much overpriced, if I'm being completely honest with you. Could I be wrong? Sure, everyone's wrong. I could be wrong, but here, this is my financial take. I'm no financial advisor. I always say it. A lot of people in the market watch space always say it, but we just give you our best advice on what we believe will possibly go up, go down, and what we believe will be kind of stagnant as well. Now we look at other stuff in this set, and they're not terribly priced, right? The Sky Striker is not terrible, but we do believe it's probably going to be hovering around 100, even below that. And there are certain stuff I will tell you pick up, right? There are certain stuff, like look at this for example, okay? We look at this. We know that this is more of a collection pickup than anything else because we look at the artwork. Look at that. We got the 3, right, SDK artworks on this one, and that's my favorite artwork. And this is like an OCG looking card if you look at it really closely. Like it's a beautiful copy. It's a really nice card. I would 100% pick this up at 50. I would pick it up at 40. I'd pick it up at probably 60 even. I think this is going to be definitely worth it over time because I think the value of this will go up. Now, can this drop down to 35, 30 in the next few weeks? 100%. I don't see it going down all the way to 30, maybe 35, but I can see this one getting bought out and spiking in the future. So that is something to consider, as well as we've seen with a lot of collection pickups in the past few weeks, months, that people love collecting things and buying out these certain things for it to go up in price. So those are things to consider as well. There's some Zexal love here as well, right? We got Gaga Girl, we got all these things in this one as well, but I wouldn't recommend picking up this for 50. I think that Starlight is going to go down. However, I always say it, cheap Starlight Rares, cheap QCRs are always the way to go because we know over time they're going to do well for itself. Do I recommend getting this right now? Can this drop down to 20? It probably could. Can you pick it up for 30 and see itself do well over time? Sure, right? There's a lot of things that could see itself do well over time. Under $50 Starlight Rares, QCRs, especially in a set, they tend to see themselves at certain points in time get bought out. Now, depending on what it is, like for example, this Prime card, we know for a fact that a lot of our past history is telling us that the Prime cards, they do really well for itself. They do really, really well for itself. Now, will this one do amazing? Time will tell. But from what we've seen with history, the Prime cards, whether it be $10, $5, $8, a lot of times we see with the Ultra Rares, the Secret Rares, they tend to spike up. And then we start to see the QCR spike up. So we're basically telling you what we're seeing here is that possibly the Starlight Rare at $40, which is pretty much a bargain, is probably going to see itself increase in price, maybe towards 50, maybe towards 60, right? We're looking at history, we're looking at past, and what we've seen with these certain archetypes. That's why we're looking at Vanquish Soul, and that's why people are fearful of Vanquish Soul really skyrocketing towards even further than $200. But I will say for a fact that I don't see it happening for that card especially. Now, as we look towards the Secret Rares in this aisle here, I will say $50 being your highest secret is not the best look for a set. A lot of times, we always say it, if your secret rare is really under 70 for the set, right, at pre-sale, the set itself is looking like a disappointment in a little bit of a regard. Why? Because guess what? There's not going to be a lot of value to have in that set. There's not going to be a lot to pull in this set. That means there's only going to be 1 or 2 cards really to pull. Now, there is this Ultra Rare that is spiking the value of the Ultra Rare column, right? This Vanquish Soul card, we just talked about it. However, I will say for a fact that I don't see this going above 30 realistically. I think it's kind of overpriced at $15 above what it's supposed to be at. Now, listen, again, I could be totally wrong, but I don't see this going above 30. This one could see itself crashing down really quickly as well. And then we have a lot of these Ultras that, again, I don't see itself doing well over time. Maybe you'll have this, fluctuate in price a little bit. Maybe this one as well. You have certain cards in this set that could see itself do well over time. Again, another Prime card. We keep talking about these Prime stuff. There's opportunities to have in certain sets, right? There's opportunities to buy into cheap stuff because it could see itself increase over time. We've seen it with other sets in the past, but then again, we're also talking about this set as it's a decent set, right? So we're talking about a set that can't really propel itself to do really well over time because there's not a lot in this one as well. There's not a lot of value to have in this one as well. Again, there will be buyouts, there will be spikes. I don't see this one like really any secret rare going above $100 at any point in time. If it does, damn, I'll bite my tongue, and you guys can come at me. But again, it's just one of those things where I just don't see it happening, especially for this set. Now, as we look towards OTS Pack 28, we talked about this one in the recent Market Watch, that Blue Eyes has seen itself do really well for itself in the Ultimate Rare version, and it's because of how it looks. A lot of people gravitating towards the way it looks, right? Now, we know that the SDK artwork is a lot of people's favorite artwork, and that's a big reason as to why we're seeing this high price tag on this Blue Eyes especially. On top of it, they did a pretty clean job in creating the card. Yes, there will be minor scuffs here and there with certain copies that Konami has put out for the TCG, but for the most part, from what we've seen from pictures and from what people have told us that have already pulled this card, is that it's a beautiful copy, that it's a really great job what they did with it. It's not the Exodia copy. It's not that $6 Exodia card that you see now that's valued at that price. It's what this price is, and probably going to remain around that price, right? I can't see it. Okay, if I'm being completely honest, I can't see it dropping to maybe. I can't even say it with a straight face that it can get to 80, because I don't know. It's just one of these cards where it just seems there's so much collection value to it. There's so much hype around it. Again, it will be played. It will be in someone's binder. It will be talked about a lot. There will be very low listings for this because people will be buying it out at times. So the value there, it's always going to be some sort of high value, right? So I'm saying 80 as like the lowest it could possibly get, in my opinion. That's just how I feel. Again, I could be totally wrong. You can come at me, but I just don't see this one really crashing as we've seen with other OTS ultis. I think this one is actually going to sustain and be one of the higher OTS ultis we've seen in the past few months, even years, because we really haven't had an OTS ulti that has really sustained a high price tag for a long period of time. I think this one especially will sustain a long period of high prices. And it probably continue to go up as well. Again, people are going to gravitate towards getting this, and 3-ofs as well, as they want to add 3 of them to their binder or 3 of them to their deck, or so on and so forth. So just keep that all in mind as you are looking towards this OTS pack as well, and you're looking at to try to pull it, or if you're looking to grab it. The price tag of this card most likely will go up in value over time. And then the Euro copy, from what I've seen, has even more sleek version and even nicer texture. So again, there's a little difference between the Euro and the TCG here, but for the most part, it is a really amazing copy, one or the other, and you're really getting a really crisp ulti out of OTS 28 for the Blue Eyes White Dragon. So that's something to really consider and evaluate as well. Chamber Dragon Maid, we talked about Dragon Maids doing well as well for the past few months, and this is something that probably could lean towards maybe $14. I don't know if it'll go below 10, because a lot of these ultis have been doing really terrible, but Dragon Maid just seems to be doing really well for itself a lot of times over time in the market. And it could increase over time. Without a doubt, it could increase. One thing to note, So Hat Rabbit, man, I did not expect this to be at $10, but it is at $10. That's kind of crazy. This is one of the better ultis in my opinion, so I think this is a great pickup for anybody looking to get this ulti. I think this can increase 100% over time. This is definitely a pickup and a gimme for sure if I were you. As we see with the other OTS packs, the value has just really depleted, has not done well for itself. We talked about even the Exodia. Look at this, it's 6 pretty much. Like we talk about these OTS ulti sets, that they just don't do well for themselves. But again, Duelist Advance is on its way out. The pre-sales are here. It's something to consider with certain cards, but just be very wary of the entire set as is, as it doesn't look that it's going to be a lot of profit value for you to have to be made in the pre-sale market. I would wait till it comes out, it settles down a little bit, you get to see the value and what people are playing and what's being hyped, what's being bought out. You get to kind of get a sense of what is happening here in the market as well for this. Just be very wary of this set. It's a lot of what we've seen with recent sets this year, as they have just dropped down value completely because there's no real want of certain things, right? So again, let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Want to hear your opinion, your thoughts. If you think there's any card that's going to really go spike up in value, let me know in the comment section down below. I want to hear your opinion, your thoughts, and why you believe so. But that's about it for this Market Watch. I hope you guys enjoyed. Please comment, and peace out, YouTube.